Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome to our satsang of astrology Q&A, where you ask the question and I answer. But I don't answer all the questions because some of the things you guys ask, I have no idea about those things, even in astrology. So many of you get upset. How come you didn't pick my question? I've asked this question 4 or 5 times. Well, the thing is, if I don't know something, I'm not going to make it up just for the sake of pleasing you. And I do write even in the comments that I don't know. So if I don't know, I don't know. Okay. So we're going to start with, again, 5 questions. And if you're new to astrology and you need to know what your planetary placements are, or to learn more about astrology, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report under the shop section from option 5 and beyond, including all my consultations, books, and link to my academy where you can learn all the questions that you ask, or most of them that you ask. So let's start out with our question number 1. And our question number 1 is from Shiru Dubey. And they ask, what makes a person go against the norm and society, especially if it's for spiritual realization? What makes him know for his knowledge and wisdom? What makes him known for his knowledge and wisdom? So whenever we're talking about somebody who goes, like, here's everybody's going flowing and this person is flowing this way. Whenever this opposite flow happens, there are 2 planets that will always come into play. And that is Venus and Rahu. Rahu is something which is outcast, unorthodox. It goes against the confines of society. It goes against the rules. It breaks the rules. Sometimes it can even break the law, but usually it breaks the rules. Then why Venus? Think about it. Why Venus? Because while all the planets rotate in one direction, Venus is that one planet that rotates in the opposite direction. It goes against the norm of the system of this of the sun. And this is why Venus is known as the teacher, the guru, the Daitya guru, meaning the guru of the asuras. People who go against the rules, people who go against the social norms of society. This is why also Venus actually even represents Islam or Middle Eastern culture, even Jewish culture. Why? Because everything is opposite. They read in the opposite direction. Also, the star, the 6-pointed star of Judaism, is the symbolism of Venus. And there were 2 or 3 other factors that I forgot why Venus is connected to that. But these are the 2 planets. So when either of them are operating in a person's life, especially in Dasha, or when these planets are conjunct another planet whose time period is running, which is the time cycle, the Dasha cycle in Vedic astrology, then the person will behave like opposite of what everybody else is behaving in their life. Ketu can also do that, but Ketu is more of a planet that is very introverted, very inward. It doesn't care to break the laws, doesn't care to break the rules, doesn't care to, follow even the social norm. It is like the omnipresence. Ketu is like the omnipresence that is around us at all time. So that is not so much, but Rahu and Venus, those are the ones that you want to look out for when somebody wants to break away. And even going on a spiritual path can happen with Rahu and Venus. Of course it can. You just have to see how other planets are placed. Are they supporting a spiritual career, or somebody just wants to be a rebel and become a punk rocker and just do drugs all day? That's also against the social norms of society. So you have to look at things in a finer context. And it's difficult. It's difficult to look at it that way. Then in Indugle Lisa ask, how do you bring in the energy of the divine into your home? Well, this is probably one of my favorite questions. How do you bring the divine into your home? Well, the number one thing you got to understand is that divine is already there in your home. The divine is already there within your body. The divine, the omnipresence is constantly there. What we need to do is we need to align ourselves so we can see its presence. That's what it's about. It's not about inviting. It's not like God, this godly omnipresence is saying, I'm not going to come in this home and I'm not going to come in this home. No, it's one flow. It's from here to the last galaxy that you probably see, which is 15 billion light years from now. Even that is nothing. They're going to discover the fact that there are galaxies 50 billion light years, probably 108 billion light years in the future. So it's there constantly. What we have to do, we align ourselves. When we align ourselves, then we realize, oh, God is here. Oh, we can feel the energy of God. Now, how do you align yourself? Well, again, if it's already predestined, and if it is meant to be aligned, if it's meant to be for you to align yourself, you'll align it. But if, let's say, perhaps this video becomes that, segue for you to do these things, then the number one thing that I spoke about even in my last video of wealth and Lakshmi is to make your environment presentable. Number one, neat and clean and simple. You can even have extravagant, just keep it more organized and simple. Then one of the most important thing is for us, not for the omnipresence, for us, is to create a space within our dwelling that we want to devote our time to discover ourselves. For example, don't even put anything in front of you. Like, how I have all these gurus in my meditation room. You don't need it. You know what you should actually put? Put a mirror. Put a mirror and look at it, because you are that omnipresence. But you just need to sit. Whether you call it meditation, whether you call it time with yourself, you just need to sit and wanting to understand who you are. Because when you know who you are, you know who God is. You know what omnipresence is. And there are tools that help you. Like, for example, incense. Lighting incense during meditation, during your, I won't say sadhana, but prayers, so you understand it better. What incense does, it activates lifetrons around you. You know how there's electrons, neutrons, pion particles? There's something called lifetrons. Lifetrons are in the ether that helps you connect with your highest of self. So lighting an incense during meditation helps the aura around you, the environment around you, to help you become in tune with yourself. So just from this simple thing, you can start to invite God, you can say, in your life. Then the third question is from Carolina Sakalina Kit. I'm totally butchering this name. But I think I'm allowed to, because you think I'm cute, right? All of you think I'm cute when I mess up your name really badly. Yes. So this person asked me, do the nakshatra of Navamsha chart matter on the same level as the nakshatra in the natal chart? Can we and should we apply the ascendant and all the nakshatra and the padas of the planetary placements in the Navamsha chart? So here's the thing. If I didn't think this was important, why would I even have Navamsha Nakshatra reading on my website? There's a reason why I have it, because it's there and it works. Now, Pada is something I have not used, and neither would I use, because then you can probably create infinity amount of Navamsha charts. Because even the degrees in Navamsha, you can calculate the Padas with that, then create another Navamsha. So let's not go that far. But with Navamsha, absolutely. You can take Navamsha most of the time as a chart on its own. Because here's the thing, like, imagine orange as being your natal chart. But let's say if I squeeze that orange, I squeeze it really hard, and all that juice, all that soma of the orange, okay, goes into a bowl. That complete juice of what that orange is, that bowl is the Navamsha. And if you want to go even finer grain, like really take even the little pulp out from there, well, then that becomes the Sastyamsha chart. But see, the Navamsha is the juice of the birth chart. So you should use it. I use it. I use nakshatras. I use the yogas. I use the aspects and the placement. Only that way you can define exactly what is happening in a person's life. So yes, please do use it. But again, I mean, I'm sure you've gotten some reading from me or some report you should have seen that I give Navamsha reading on my website. So then the question comes from S.K. Kumar. What is the purpose of astrology when everything is predestined? By doing remedies, can we change the future? So very good question again. Absolutely, everything is predestined. It was predestined in 2000 years ago that on this particular day, this guy named Kapil Raj is going to make this particular video on this new technology of YouTube. So then what is the purpose of astrology? Well, number one purpose of astrology is to see, why are you here? What wrongs did you do in your past life? What rights did you do in your past life for which you are now suffering or having a good time? Second of all, why are you studying mathematics? Why are you studying science? When everything is predestined to be discovered in the future, why are we studying anything then? It's human curiosity to know, wow, that's magic. This happened to me. How did you see that? How do you predict that? It's human curiosity. But the main lesson is that once you see the patterns of your previous lives, you can at least take the right action in this life. And this is why I've said, whoever watches my channel or any other channel, reads any astrology book, or gets any consultation from any astrologer, and that astrologer somehow helps them guide to what they should be doing and how not to act and how to act, then they have done something in their past life to receive that reading. It was predestined for them to receive the reading so they can improve their future. Otherwise, people who are to do wrong in this life, and they will every day, every 22nd a murder is occurring in this world, they are doing something wrong, right? They're taking a life. It was meant for them for right now to take that life and commit that crime, because that soul is to deal with the repercussion of that in the future lives. And it's like a machine. Sri Aurobindo, the great saint, probably a reincarnation of some god, came and said that this karma, okay, cause and effect of karma is like a mechanical machine. It's a machine on its own. It's even like disconnected from the overpowering ambience of God. So whatever goes inside this machine, it's going to keep recycling if no action is taken. Because many people think, well, if, like some saints, some people will say, all these children are dying, all these women are, being raped, and they'll be like, well, what did they do in their past life to deserve that? But then some people will say, well, just because they deserve it, should we let them have it? All this suffering, And the answer to that is, it's the machine. When you commit something, you come back and you receive that same thing. So this is where then all of our ancient knowledge comes into play, that, hey, if you are predestined to find that path and ascend to the 1,000-petal lotus awareness, and you realize that it's a machine and you no longer need to come back, then you escape. But it's like another God in itself, with just nothing can help you, unless by force of nature those gurus who come from different, dimensions, different galaxies, come in here and teach you some things, and then it spreads little by little, little by little. Few people get out. Like when you have a fire is going on in a pit, but then you hear those sparkles, and you see those little sparkles fly out and disappear. It's pretty much telling you about life. The fire is all the people stuck into this fire, is that world. And then few people, few sparks just leave that particular machine. Then, Gagan Bajaj says, Dasamsha D10 chart used in prediction. How to read it and different with D1 and D9 predictions. So again, a very good question. So they're pretty much trying to say is that how do you judge a D10 chart? And how is it different from Navamsha versus Dasamsha? So Dasamsha is known as not just a chart of career. It is the chart of your obligation to society. It's the chart of the obligation to society. When you go into society, and the majority of the time right now, maybe from the past 1,000 years, why do you go into society? Because you need to work. Work, status, okay, marriage, business. It shows what are you to perform in society in this life. Navamsha shows the strength of the planets. Navamsha shows the inner consciousness that helps you with the D10. So birth chart and Navamsha chart shows the engineering of the robot. So the outer skull, like the Terminator, that scary looking red eye skull is the D1 chart. The engineering, the software is the Navamsha. But what is the Terminator doing? Is it saving a boy's life or going after to kill the boy? That is the Dasamsha. What you are putting out is the Dasamsha. But again, this is such a complex matrix, because at the same time I'm saying that you can use Navamsha on its own and it gives a whole lot of information. But Dasamsha really shows what are you putting out. Perhaps you graduated with MBA and you are known as a great astrologer in your community. Everybody comes to you for reading. But the Dasamsha is saying one of your biggest obligation in society is to deal with land. And perhaps selling and buying land, refinancing land becomes your ability to make money, pay your bills, because astrology is just secondary to you. It's not so important. You're just doing it. It's just there as a hobby. So Dasamsha definitely becomes very important in that manner. And especially the ascendant and planet in the ascendant of Dasamsha hold a very strong key to who you are when you step outside the house. Okay? Then I took a last question just for kicks. It's from Carolina Shashing Kayati. Did I have another? Oh, this is the second question that I picked from her. What are the worst and stupidest action people take to ruin, destroy, or cancel even the best yogas and planetary combinations in the chart? Well, that's a very good question again. And the way a person ruins it is because they're predestined to ruin it. Number one. Like you will have the best of the combination, but because you took money from this person and this farmer 10 lifetimes ago, you never paid them any money, you stole everything that they had. Well, in this life, me as this omnipresence, this machine of karma, is going to play this game with you. You're going to have everything going for you. You will be just graduating from Harvard. You already have a job set up as a lawyer and making $500,000 starting from this law firm. But 2 days before your graduation, you're going to get into a fight with someone at a bar and you will hit them with a chair and they will die. And from that fight, you will be accused of second-degree murder. You are going to have to spend 5 years in prison with the felony record. And when you come out, there's nothing left as you thought it would be. So this is how people ruin it, but they don't ruin it. It's already predestined for them to ruin it. Okay. So guys, this was my answers to your divine questions. And as always, if you're new to my channel and love astrology, subscribe below. And if you want to know about your planetary placements, all the details, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow with our Navamsha video. Okay. Bye-bye.